Now, there are two times when are the worst times to present to a conference, and that's the last one of the day and the one right after lunch. So you're all in a food coma, so I'm hoping to inspire you here to come out of it. And I said, you know, it would be better if there was dessert, and he said, well, you're dessert, so I feel very happy about that. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about EV Connect. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Scott Jarris. We are a provider, Platform is a service provider for the EV infrastructure management industry. We're a little different than some of the companies you've been hearing today. We're 8 years old. We have significant revenue. We're growing rapidly. We have about by the end of this year, we'll have about 2,500 charge ports under management across North America. So a little bit different than what you've been hearing. But before I start, and I'm not going to be terribly repetitive because you've heard this several times already this morning, but I want to build on what Saeed said this morning about the transformation of the transportation modality and what is needed in this country and the world, frankly, with regard to infrastructure. And so I'm going to give you a few key statistics that, again, you've heard in different ways. As you can see, the number of EVs on the road is expected to increase by 55% between now and 2030. The amount of electricity that's going to be generated between now and then is going from 10 terawatts to 208 terawatts. That's a 20% increase. And the number of charging stations, which is what we're particularly interested in, and you'll hear about in just a minute, is going to increase by about 122% between that time period. So a very rapidly growing industry. So what EV Connect does is it manages all of the aspects of the EV ecosystem, which includes stations, facility owners, utilities, and drivers. Each of those has their own particular needs and desires of what they require in order to do business. So as an example, if you're a station, you need to be managed for your health and wellness. So we do command and control functionality and other things. If you're a facilities owner, you need certain things about reporting on the usage of your station. You need to know how much your stations are being used, your interoperability among stations, access control, who gets to use the stations and who doesn't. We also help facility owners manage their peak load. Perhaps you don't want your charging station to be used at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer day when it's 110 degrees and the demand charges from the electric utility are very, very high. If you're a driver, we want to make sure that you have a great experience charging your vehicle, but we also want to provide you information about pricing, access control, where the stations are, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, we can also provide you some location-based services for what's in the general area around where you are. And lastly, for the utilities, of which we have several here, we provide a lot of tools for the utility. We are a part of the demand response system. We are an open ADR provider, for those of you that know what that is. We also participate in the low carbon fuel standard credit system here in California and soon hopefully in other states around the country. And we provide management of charging stations across multiple networks, not just our own. So if there are other charging networks that would rather use our platform for the management of their network of stations, we can integrate that into ours. They can be white labeled, they can be co-branded, we can provide them their own portal, et cetera, and take advantage of all of our tools. So all of this is what the ecosystem is, and our platform, which we call EV Cloud, overlays all of that. So to use an example, if those of you are old enough to remember when ATM cards and ATM machines first came out in the banking industry, you could go to your own bank, use your own card, and that was it. And then magically, a few years later, they announced that they had joined a network and that you could use your card at any of the other ATM stations that were on the Plus or the Sirius or the whatever Star network. And then magically, 5 years later, you could use your card anywhere in the world. So the question becomes, as a consumer, how is it that an ATM station in Poland allows you to get cash out in local currency, but it knows to take the money out of the Union Bank of California account? And the way it does that is because there is an overarching management network, a platform as a service, a PaaS, which is what we are, and we are going to be that for the charging network. Wow, did I run out of time already? All right, let me quickly, well, I don't know if I can get through these all. These are the areas that we manage within the workplace, charging, multifamily charging, et cetera. We do not do single family charging. That's something that doesn't need management particularly. These are the things that differentiate us. We are open, standards-based. Many of our players are closed, not standards-based. We are not an owner-operator. We don't make our own stations. We don't own stations, and we provide all of these support. Lastly, these are our customers. We provide services to all of these various component parts, and these are some of our customers that are out there. We're also partnered with PG&E, SDG&E, SCE, et cetera, on the utility side. These are some of our big networks. We are the provider of charging for LA Metro. That's the subway that many people don't know we have in LA. We are also the provider in the Ontario province of Canada. And New York State, we are the partner with New York Power Authority all up and down the throughways that are there. We also, for those of you that go to the Yahoo campus nearby, we provide all their charging. This is our mobile app, which gives the driver access control. Again, we're a little bit more mature. We have $18 million in contracts that we're currently executing on right now for this year. This is our management team. They've been a part of EV 2.0, which is the current version of the EV side. They've all been on all these industries. These are our current investors. We just closed an $8 million Series A round, and these are some of our partners that participated in that. And that's who we are. Sorry, that was pretty quick. Question?